Oh, your name is Amy. Hi.
All right, Amy.
Yeah.
Amy Chu, right?
That's me, yeah.
I know an Amy Poo.
Oh, well, I'm not a poo, but I'm a chew.
Yeah, she's a P-O-U-X. So
Oh, interesting. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're on Facebook Live, actually.
Oh,
You know,
really?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so, no, I'm on Facebook Live right now. And then, yeah, we'll see. Let's see if I can switch it over. There's Scott, and there is Ramona. Say hi, Ramona.
Hi.
Yeah, we are. So Scott's, here, let me try to switch back. Sorry, guys. I'm like, yeah. We're here, Ramona's beautiful balcony in the Catskills. I don't know if you can see that background. Look how beautiful that is. And this is my first Facebook Live. Scott was doing a great job until his phone overheated. And now my phone is going to run out of battery. But it's okay, because you're really not here for me. You're here for Ramona. Because we're talking about, what were we just talking about?
Writers and how they...
Oh, how terrible writers are.
how thoughtless they are.
Yeah, they can be really thoughtless, right?
Yeah, now I can't remember what I was going to say. I was very interested.
Yeah, so I was saying how I try to teach, at the Cubert School, I try to teach the new writers that to be considerate and to be aware. But also, what else? Oh, Mark Brooks. I don't know if you know Mark Brooks. Marvel artist, great artist, gave me some advice from an artist's perspective, which I always remember now. If you're doing mainstream work, you would appreciate this too. Anytime you're doing mainstream work as a writer for Marvel or DC, and you're writing for a popular character, try to put that character in every page. Because if you don't, the artist can't sell that page, right? It's really hard. And so I always remember that.
You're thinking of resale.
Well, because I also teach business at a Cubert School. I'm like, man, that totally makes sense. And if the artist is happy, I'm happy, the readers are happy, the story's better, right? It's a win-win. Oh, Sarah Titus says hi. She runs a beautiful store in Delaware, comic book shop. Maria Laura Santa. This is the beauty of Facebook Live and stuff like that. So Maria drew the book that I gave you, the crossover with Betty Veronica, Vampirella Red Sonja, which I can never get right. There's got to be a better acronym. So Dave Roman also says he loves you.
There was something I wanted to say more about writers.
Yes.
When I was,
only good, right?
When I was drawing Brenda, I had a couple of writers who had never written for comics, so they had no idea what it was like to write for still shots.
Yes.
They grew up on TV, so they thought everything was a moving image.
Right.
And so they would have a close-up with the person saying about 10 different things, the way they would if they had different facial expressions. And it was that kind of thing. It makes a huge difference if the writers know what they're writing for, what the limitations are.
That is still a problem now, but I think less so because people are starting to realize that one size doesn't fit all for every medium. And the TV writers in particular, I think, unless they're really aware of, like, if they're comics fans, they tend to be better at it.
They get it.
Yeah, they get it, but I think it takes a little bit of work,
You can tell that I drew over Gail Messick for a year when I first took over the strip, and you could tell she knew exactly what she was doing in terms of the graphics.
Yeah.
Every scene was designed for dialogue that was possible.
Right.
So I began to appreciate that.
Well, I think we have to appreciate also the good editors who catch stuff like that,
Yeah, that would help.
Yeah, if the editor is running interference on your part and say, look, you can't do that, or, but I don't want to say, I think there's some good editors. Some editors are really good at that. Some editors who are probably too busy, or maybe they didn't have the training. I don't know, I don't want to slam all editors because, they're the ones who hire us, Very important.
I found, though, that in terms of editors, they're usually much more interested in the writing than they are in the drawing. So I had nothing but good, experiences with editors. They leave me alone, basically.
Well, I think a lot of editors are also naturally inclined to the word anyway, that they're there for a reason. They're editor, and then they learn the art part. But I think there's a handful of editors who start off in the arts side. Like Mike Pellerito actually went to the Cubert School.
Orlando, he was the best. He was wonderful because he understood drawing, and he liked it. he was really interested in what it looked like. Whereas I never had the feeling that other editors felt that way. They were just into the stories.
Right, right. Who would you say? Can you say that you had a favorite editor or some?
I think Joe.
Yeah.
And I like to work with George Cashdan too. He was easy.
Yeah.
But the one I didn't, who scared me was Conager. I did a couple of war stories with him. It was traumatizing.
Oh, why was it traumatizing?
Well, first of all, I don't like war, and I didn't enjoy drawing, all the machinery, the tanks and the guns and things. And I don't think he thought very much of my drawing. We just didn't.
You didn't click.
It wasn't comfortable. Yeah.
Oh. Do you have favorite things or stuff that you like to draw, and has that changed?
I like to draw goofy things. I'm not a superhero person. I like Plastic Man. I like Metamorpho because he wasn't superhero-y. He was a person, and all the characters interacted, and I enjoyed that a lot. Anything that's exaggeratable, I like. I don't get the heroic quality of superheroes. I just miss it, I don't think I'm very good at making them.
Oh, that's so interesting.
heroic.
I don't know if people would, like that. I wouldn't have thought that, but I can see do you like to draw the more fluid lines, the dynamism? Yeah. So maybe no Transformers for you.
No what?
Transformers, the robots.
Oh, no.
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 Or Godzilla.
No machinery.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah, my phone is going to run out of battery, but we'll keep going as long as we can here.
I got your backup.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
I only have like 35%. So.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, what other questions do I need to ask you? If I were starting off in this business now, do you have advice for people?
Do I have a what?
Advice for people who are just starting or maybe want to get into the business?
No, I don't. I never.
No, don't do it?
No. I like my privacy.
Yeah.
But I will give if that woman wants my email.
Oh yes, yeah. Karen Green, she's lovely. She's going to be responsible for keeping comics alive for generations to come. Yeah, because she's really put a lot of effort into building that. That's like a national treasure now.
Great.
So.
Great. Well, I tell you, over the years, I've come to really appreciate the talent that goes into comics, the imagination and talent. At first, I just thought, my father wanted me to be a fashion artist. And he was very, I think, disappointed when I started drawing comics. So I kind of took over his attitude toward it. But I realized there's some incredible talent working in comics and always has been. It's just not an easy thing it's not beautiful art. It's not something you'd, I guess, ordinarily want to hang on your wall.
But now everyone's hanging your art on the walls.
Yeah, well, I know, but it's not like a Rembrandt or something like that.
Well, for some people it is, actually. Yeah.
Well, I went to art school and I sort of absorbed that.
Oh, yeah.
Attitude,
I think attitudes have changed. Maybe some art schools are still very much, but I think things have changed.
So,
yeah. But there's still some people who sort of look down. It's like, oh, that's just populist mass, whatever.
It's a cartoon.
Right. But why did your dad want you to do fashion illustration?
Yeah, he was a commercial lettering man.
Oh.
And he did all the Camel ads and Elizabeth Arden and all those. And the Lord and Taylor ads, and he wanted me to be a fashion designer, artist.
Oh.
And,
would that have paid more?
Pardon?
Would that have paid more?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Everything would have paid.
Everything paid more than comics.
Oh, my God.
So I'm laughing and my phone's shaking.
We were practically paying them to work.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, Fred Chamberlain says hi. He says, great to see you again. It's been too long since, I guess you had dinner at the Harveys.
Who's that?
Fred Chamberlain.
I don't know.
It's been a while.
I probably do know.
Yeah. Riley Brown, also an artist, Marvel artist. Your Super Friends comic was one of his favorite comics from as a kid.
Yeah. I can always tell how old these people are.
I
by
know.
which ones they
Right,
grew
right.
up on.
Yeah. Oh, Ann Stinson says she has one of your originals hanging on their wall. So that's nice. Yeah, you have a lot more art on your website too, right? If people are interested. Lots of
Brenda Starr.
Lots of
Oh,
yeah,
God,
I
so
have the
much Brenda Starr.
but they're great. They're great. Do you I assume you must keep some for yourself.
I
No?
don't, but my daughter is going to keep everything.
Oh, okay.
You know, she'll be after you to get all those Brendas back, you know.
Right.
It means something to her. And I guess, I don't know, maybe somehow somebody will buy them someday. They always sell at conventions, but not otherwise. People. Although we had an art show here to raise money for the politics a couple of years ago, and I brought Brenda's strips, and they sold right
Oh, I'm
away.
sure they sold right
Yeah,
away.
I think people like published art, you know, they like to buy
Well,
them.
I think also, I mean, it's memories, but also whenever you do a different venue, you know, because I have to say, Comic Cons and comic book events always get the same people.
Yeah.
But sometimes you go outside,
Yeah.
and then people are absolutely flabbergasted when I tell them that yes, you can buy original art. You know, they just don't know. It's just like an untapped market, right? So. Yeah. So what do you do? What do you do every day now? Are you just relaxing? You draw? You draw commission?
Oh, yeah. I keep you motivated.
I guess you have a commission list. Are you just super busy?
Scott has the
She
list.
has
You just
a-
keep her working, don't
has
you?
a
Look at
lot of
this, is
people- she has
Scott.
a lot of
Yeah.
people that want to. Matter of fact, I have a bunch of emails that came in over the weekend I had to get back to for commissions. And anybody that wants to get a commission, you just go to catskillcomics.com and click on Ramona Fradon's name and send us an email, and we can get you set up.
And you got a bunch of wonderful little sketch cards there, and I noticed so yeah, this was the upsell, right? Here, let me switch back because you know I wrote Poison Ivy, and I was thinking, okay, I got a little DC work here, right? And I'm gonna get a check. I'm like, well, you know, I don't have Ramona Fradon Poison Ivy, and I saw that, and I was like, ooh, I need to get that, you know. And then I was like, ooh, what's this other thing next to it, which was considerably more expensive.
Yes.
So, and so this is why I'm here, because there's no way I was going to have that put in the mail. I need to pick that thing up personally. So I got to ask you the backstory behind this marvelous piece, which I'm here to pick up, the 32 character.
Oh, I don't know. I had some ones that I did a long time ago, and I thought I didn't like a lot of characters the way I'd drawn them. So I thought, well, I'm going to try making it better, you know, improving it. And so I started, and then I just got carried away.
You just kept going.
I kept going. I thought, oh, maybe I'll do this character, you know. And I was just having fun with it.
And so how did you choose, and this is my curiosity, like how did you choose in terms of composition and characters? So you ended up with 32, of which, you know, I was trying to figure out who all of them were. But what was your thought process as you were going along?
Well, partly I drew on that old drawing, so there were a lot of characters there already. But
So it had started before, you had started a long time ago, and then you just started adding on to
a
it.
different one, yeah. And I thought, well, since I've been working with Scott, I've learned a lot more characters that I never heard of. So I thought, well, I think I'll just add some of these people too, you know. And then I wanted to make couples go together, or people who are all in the same story, sort of put them next to each other. It just kind of grew organically that way. And I don't know what made me suddenly I think I just ran out of paper, or I would still be doing it.
I was curious too, because you just don't really see that kind of thing so much anymore, because,
I know,
right?
you don't.
It has to be super commissioned, because I think most of the artists I know, I mean, and they rightly so, they should do the smart thing, which is a headshot, a bust, full body, but
Yeah, because everybody's just standing.
so I'm gonna say, like, I mean, I love it. You should do a Marvel version. I'm sure there'll be a lot of interest if you were so inclined. Yeah, absolutely. You know.
Yeah, that's a thought. I'm not fond of Marvel characters, though.
You're more skewed towards
I'm
DC.
more a DC person.
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
definitely a DC person.
Why is that? Just
I know they've got a. I probably got a lot of half-baked thoughts about it. It's a reaction I have, but there's something about the attitude toward the characters and toward. I don't know.
is it like an aesthetic, or is the personalities, or
It's
just the
the
universe?
personality? Yeah, it's. I don't know. I mean, first of all, I think the old DC characters are unsurpassable. You never get another Superman or Wonder Woman or Batman. They're just perfect characters. They came from their time, you know.
Right.
And I don't think the Marvel characters have that kind of simplicity and mystique that the DC characters have. Now, of course, I'm prejudiced because I've always worked for DC.
Right.
But to me, the Marvel characters are just ones that came along afterwards. And so I shouldn't say this. I mean,
That's
I
okay.
ups for them.
Right. No, but everyone has preferences, and I definitely, because I work for both, but and my family split. My husband is a Marvel fan, but my kids are DC fans.
Good for them. Good kids.
So it's really funny, and some people are saying, well, how can you work for both? And I'm like, we're freelancers, we need to get a paycheck. So
I mean, once you work on them, it's fun to do, but it's just I don't know. My very